Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood realtor here, Matt McCrory with the Tim Stout Group at Keller Williams, Johnson City. Today we're going to go over 5 common questions we get during a real estate transaction. Here we go. I've been hearing a lot about interest rates. I know right now it's around 4%, but I'm not ready right now. I want to wait a few years, and what's the big deal if it goes up 1% or 2%? Excellent question, because 1% does not seem like a lot, but let's look at things over a 30-year period, which is a typical life of a loan, right? So for easy math, let's say you wanted to buy a home at $100,000 with that 4% interest rate, just focusing on the interest rate here. If we got that loan for $100,000, at the end of 30 years, we're going to be looking at $172,000. If we increase it by 1%, same house, same price, $100,000 at 5% interest rate. At the end of the 30 years, we will have paid $193,000. Now these are rough numbers. I've rounded up and rounded down, but still we're looking at around $21,000 difference between a 4% interest rate and a 5% interest rate. It may not seem like a lot in the beginning, but over a 30-year period, it can add up quickly. I don't want to buy a home right now because I do not have enough saved up in the bank for a down payment. What's the typical amount someone puts down for a down payment on a home? Excellent question. I get this often. How much do I need for a down payment? And when we talk a bit more back and forth, it's because most people think you need to bring 20% down to be able to buy a home. Now, that is true for conventional loans, right? People usually will put 20% down to avoid paying an additional cost for PMI, but you still can buy a home with a conventional loan. You just have to pay a little bit extra monthly for that. But there is a way to buy a home with 0 down, 100% financing. There are actually many different ways to do it with different loan products out there. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, maybe you don't have 20% down you want to put in there and you still want a competitive interest rate at 100% financing with 0 down, we can connect you with some of our trusted lenders. They can look at your credit history, look at all the debt to income ratio, all the stuff that adds up to what you can get, and they can show you different loan products, and you can choose what's right for you and your family with your home buying needs. What are closing costs, and how much is that going to run me? Closing costs are what is needed to close out your loan. It pays the mortgage people, it pays the title company, it covers filing fees with the state, with government, getting your deed, filing the deed, searching for the deed, all of that. That is what your closing costs are. And if you are looking to buy a home under $300,000, you're most likely going to be looking at closing costs anywhere from 4 to 5% of the purchase price. If it's over $300,000, you will find that closing costs will be anywhere from 2.5% to 3%. Now, if you just heard 3%, 4%, 5%, and you're like adding up the numbers, and you're thinking, man, that's a lot of money. I have to bring that to closing. Oh my goodness, I don't know if I could swing that and feel comfortable with what is in my savings. A lot of people feel that way, and there's something that we can do about it. Now, if we wanted to buy a home for $200,000 and the closing costs were $7,000, all we would do is once we negotiated a price, as a part of the negotiation, we would have that $7,000 in closing to be purchased or paid for by the seller. That way it's wrapped in the loan that way. So they would be getting $200,000, but the loan amount would be $207,000, which would pay for your closing cost, asking that the seller would pay for the closing cost. So you don't have to bring all of that to closing. Right now I'm paying around $800 a month for my apartment. If I want to keep my payments around that $800 a month, what does the purchase price of the home I want to buy need to be to keep my monthly payments around $800? Yes, we get this question a lot, especially with first-time home buyers. Now, rent at around $800 a month, that payment, the mortgage loan amount would need to be around $130,000. It's a decent-sized home here in the Tri-Cities. Something to think about. Okay, when I'm starting to look to buy or if I'm wanting to sell, which is better? A solo agent or one of these teams I keep hearing about? What's the difference between just a solo agent and then an agent who's in a team? Yes, okay, I get this question often because I'm in a team. So let me explain the difference between a solo agent and a team. A solo agent is someone who works for a specific company who it is their job to help buyers and sellers buy or sell property. That's awesome. It's just them though. So if they're trying to help multiple people, which is most likely, they can become overwhelmed relatively quickly. But on our team, we have 5 different people on our team, right? Each person does a different task. They work in different ways. We do that in order to provide excellent customer service to our clients because we don't want to be spread too thin. We don't want to start mixing different transactions with others. We want to make sure that we have everything organized. Each person is helping us move the person to the finish line, which is to buy the property or to sell the property. So someone is making sure that the home is being marketed well, that buyers are being informed throughout the process, that they're shown all of the properties that are available on the market and different things of that nature. It's essentially just to make sure that we're not spread too thin to help. To put it in other words, it would be as if you were given the opportunity to play capture the flag and you got to pick, do you want the help of one person or the help of 5 people? You decide. Well guys, I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was informative. If you have any questions that we did not cover, please send us a direct message. Stop us out in the street, whatever. We seriously want to make sure that we're answering all questions, that we're helping the Tri-Cities area as best we can. We love it here, and we want to give to the community always, always, always. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day. And remember, who you work with matters.